Hey guys, welcome back to A Story with Rory. Thank you for joining us tonight. Tonight we have Nathan, a very special guest in the USA, and he has a very incredible story to tell us tonight. Hey Nathan, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
I guess go ahead and start from the beginning. Is this a UFO sighting? Is that right?
Yeah, this there was initially three objects in the sky when it was about 8:30 in the morning, February 16th in 2021, and me and my friend Jake were just standing around and looking out the window at work, and I noticed they something in the sky. So I walked a little closer, and he just got a new phone. So I told him, I said, "Hey man, let's film this. Let's look at it."
Mm-hmm.
So when the film starts, you see us walk over to the window, and he zooms in, and you can see that there's three craft, one big craft, and we just looked at it for a few minutes, and then we headed outside and got a clearer look at it, and just followed it across the sky, and then eventually it started like it was spinning and lining
Right.
up, and then it just disappeared.
Yeah, I saw the video that you had shared, and you can actually tell um, there's something rotating around it, and I was like, that's not that's not anything of a man-made craft. Like we don't have anything that does that, you know.
No, it's definitely
When you said this was in 2021,
yes.
um, uh, what time of day was this again? I forgot.
It was about 8:30 in the morning.
Okay.
Um, Initially, I thought it was some balloons because it was a couple of days after Valentine's Day, and
Mm-hmm.
thought, well, that's what we're looking at, some balloons floating up in the sky. But then it never really rose up. It kind of stayed the same spot, and then it started spinning and lighting up, and that was the strangest part.
And you had your buddy with you, right, at the same time?
Jake, he was the one recording it. It's his
Okay.
channel you're looking at the video on, and yeah, we both saw it, and at first, you zoomed he was zooming in on the camera, but I couldn't see it very well just with my naked eye, and
Mm-hmm.
we didn't really know it was anything crazy until we went back inside and started looking at it, and then we're like, oh, that was wild, you know.
Something interesting is when you were actually looking at it from the beginning, it looked like it was kind of close up. Like it looked like it was a lot closer um, to those telephone pole lines. But then when you guys went outside, it looked like it shot off a bit. You know, like it was just kind of barely in the camera. I mean, it wasn't like non-existent, but he really had to zoom in to get it. As before, he was just kind of zooming in. It took up, you know, a bigger part of the screen. So, I mean, that's just incredible. Like the way that it kind of sat there and moved back and forth. Um,
Hmm.
it didn't go up like a balloon, you know, it didn't start lowering down. It just kind of went side to side, forward and backward, you know, and it's whatever it was spinning around. I just, I don't know. I just can't, I can't wrap my mind around that right now. You know, it was just kind of that. I mean, that's something in a UFO that I've never seen before. Is something that was actually rotating around the object. Now, you said it broke up into three parts. Is that right?
Well, at the beginning, it was, if you look closely, there's three objects, and
Okay.
the other two are smaller and they disappear. And so
Mhm.
we just follow the one object because the other just and if you can zoom in on the YouTube video and see the other ones, they're
Mhm.
in.
So is that your channel that you have?
That's no, that's Jake's channel that the video is on. I have my own channel where I post skateboarding videos and stuff. But yeah,
Okay.
that's Jake's. He started that channel just to post that video. He didn't have a channel, but he started,
Gotcha.
and there's only two videos on that channel.
What's the name of that channel?
Uh, Jake Ramirez. He got it spelled differently though. I had to, but I sent you the link. I'm not sure if you can post the way he's got it spelled.
Yeah, I'll copy it and I'll post it in the comments so then people can go there and look and see if um anyone else has seen anything like close to that, you know. And I mean that's wild. Did you guys hear any noise, anything like that?
No, no noises. Just, just looking at it and watching it kind of change shape. And I kind of snapped in on some of those shape changes. They're on another video on the channel, and you can just see it kind of morphing. And then
Mm-hmm.
circling, something was circling it.
Yeah.
It's several things, and I've been paying attention to some UFOs being posted since this, and I've seen a couple look sort of like this. There was one in Afghanistan a few days later that looked similar to this. So there's a certain type of UFO. It just kind of looks like it's coming in and out of reality almost, and just spin
Mm-hmm.
morphing into something.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, out of all the ones that I've seen videos on and photos and all that, I've never seen one that spun. I mean, there was one. I don't know if you remember back when there was like a autopilot or a pilot in this commercial craft. He was flying around like 30 something thousand feet, and he sees this cube looking like structure
Yeah.
flying underneath him and it starts spinning. And so that's kind of the only thing that I can remember. Anytime a UFO would actually be, you know, twirling, moving, something like that. Or I've never seen anything just spinning around it though. That's wild. So, was there any color to it? Did you guys notice? Because I mean, in the video, it kind of almost looked like a red color. Is that right, or was it a different? Did you guys see something else?
But it just looked like black to me, like just
Okay,
dark. And you know, the light though, when it started like, it was white and blue, and just kind of going back and forth because it like it was spinning, and the sun was like behind us, like kind
right.
of, you know, if something did start spinning, that's probably where you got those lights, or it could be blinking because that's what it looked like. It looked like it was blinking.
Mhm. I mean, it's possible that, you know, you could be seeing also like a prism from the light bending from where the sun hits it, and that's just a natural thing, you know, that happens on the Earth. But man, have you guys ever seen anything like that since then?
No, I've never seen anything before this day, but you know, I was interested in the UFO topic, especially since 2017 when the New York
Hmm.
Times wrote that article kind of talking about it, and then it made me think, well, maybe there's something to this. But and then I see this, and then you know, there's things, you know, out there, just they're there sometimes, and you know, we who knows what they are.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, it's
they're
like you're telling yourself, you know, this thing should not exist, or I just you can't comprehend what something is. Sometimes it's hard to get a normal thought process because not everyone's going to pull out their cell phone and be like, "Oh, what's that?" Because they're trying to think of what it is first. They're just like, "I don't know what this is." So I didn't even think to pull my cell phone out and start recording. And that's just a natural reaction from a lot of people because there was a UFO me and my wife saw uh, driving on the turnpike, and she pointed at it, you know, and said, "What is that?" And I look at it, and I'm just like, you know, I'm trying to drive, and also I'm dumbfounded. I don't know what I'm looking at because like hours later, we were kind of both describing it, you know, and she said, "Oh yeah, it was like this, black, spherical, it had sides on it. Looked like it almost had some kind of weird looking wing deals on it." And I was like, "How big was it?" She's like, "Maybe like bigger than a basketball." And I'm like, "Man, what I saw was completely different than that." And we were at the same place at the same time. And I saw like, if you ever had those like Smarty suckers, that was like round on top, round on bottom, and straight on the sides, and it was completely matte black, and you could see the sun shining the light off of it, and it was just sitting like 30 feet, 35 feet or something like that above the tree line, just sitting there. And the trees were moving with the wind, and it wasn't swaying. It was just like stuck in the sky, kind of, so to speak. And kind of freaked me out because I'm just like, I don't know what I'm looking at. I never would have thought to like pull the truck over and get out my phone and start recording because I was just so distraught and so just confused by what I was looking at. So when I got home later, I'm like, man, I'm gonna go drive back there and see if I can see what it was. And by that time it was gone, and no one lives over there. There's, um, I'm sure it's just private property somebody owns, but it was weird. And we both two saw, I think, two different things. Um,
Yeah.
so I mean, I don't get that. I
Yeah.
don't get that either.
Fortunate he pulled his phone out and started recording because I didn't even pull mine out. I was just looking at it and trying to get it, trying to figure out what it is. At first, I didn't know it could be just a drone or anything, but then, the more I looked at it, I realized no, I don't. Who knows what it is?
Yeah, it looked to me it looked way too sophisticated. Uh, Definitely to be a drone, and I mean that's one of the first things that people automatically assume is, oh, it's a drone, it's some kind of new unmanned aircraft. Now, don't get me wrong, there are unmanned aircraft that there's things that we haven't seen before, and they're just out there. Like there's people that know about it. They don't go out and say this is what it looks like, but it's been told that they're out there. Um,
There's an air, about 3 miles away from
mhm.
where we were at, and so there's a lot of movement in the sky around the area, mostly small planes. But so I mean, there was hangars over there. Who knows if it
Hmm.
if it was something like that. You know, but I
Another interesting sighting that my wife had, and I didn't see it, but there was something she saw, and it looked almost kind of like a bird. It was like silver, metallic, and she said it would turn to like an angle to where it just was invisible. She couldn't see it anymore. It basically just vanished, which I think it's some kind of cloaking deal.
yeah.
Um, the way I mean, because there have been people that have successfully made things that can kind of disappear just by the angles and the lights and the way that something looks. So, I mean, I definitely believe that that's a huge possibility. But
Have
I
you
was talking.
have you seen
Oh,
that video, that was released not too long ago? The squid that was kind of moving across the military
hmm
and how it
hmm
was apparent. So I mean, there's definitely some cloaking and something going on.
yeah, and a lot of that stuff, even though they can cloak it, not all the time they can hide the thermal imaging. Whether it's super cold or super hot. And I don't know if you watch Skinwalker Ranch, but there's some parts on the show where they zoom in on an orb flying around, and it's like an offset temperature. It's either super hot, super cold, and like you can't hide the thermal no matter what you do. But they do have ways of man, it's just one of those things. It's like you never know these days. It could be some kind of like portal that's moving around. Like
Yeah,
you just don't know. It's
uh,
Yeah, after that video in 2017 where those fighter pilots were chasing that UFO and it was going down by the ocean and goes into the ocean, it's like all bets are off.
I'm pretty
So,
sure they are under the ocean. That would be.
yeah,
I mean, if you were in advanced civilization, being on the surface would not be a good plan because it's dangerous on the surface. So I think
right.
if something else lived on this earth with us, best bet would be in the ocean or underground because
Hmm.
leave yourself so vulnerable on the surface.
Yeah, and not to mention there's tons of area under the ocean that we haven't even explored and that we can't even get to. So that would honestly be a perfect place to be, I would think. But
Yes,
yeah, I'd like to have Nathan on too. I'm sorry, not Nathan. Is it Kyle?
Jake.
Jake.
Yeah,
Sorry. A lot of names I have to remember. I would like to also get Jake on and maybe invite you back too, and we can do like another session and talk about kind of like his perception too of what he saw, and so forth. But
Okay.
I
Good.
appreciate having you on the show, Nathan. Yeah,
Thank,
thanks for your time and thank you for your story.
thank you. It's nice talking
All
to you.
right. Well, I'll see you later, bud.